Hi, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I am a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobay. And last year we have released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out two of our music videos on my YouTube channel. We're building our own monument and Fake the New Kind of Beauty, and also a studio live take of A Way Till Pose. And in the description of all these videos you will find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via email, on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can get one through Bandcamp. And today I'm going to review the new album from Big Train, Grand Tour.
Music review. Music review.
Big Train is a name I stumbled upon many times over the last couple of years, but I've never really listened to them. I know that they are one of the leading bands in the neo-prog genre, along with like the Flower Kings, and I've heard a lot of good things about them. So this album actually came out in, I think, like April or May, so I'm very late to this review, but if you watch my channel you know that if I didn't like the album I wouldn't make a review for it. So as of now I've heard it 7 times, let's dive right into the review. The album opens up with an intro called Novum Organum, if I pronounce it right, and the singer has that typical nasal British neo-prog voice that kind of reminds me vocally and melodically of John Mitchell from It Bites, combined with like Peter Gabriel and Fish.
On ships that sail in all winds, with the sounds of distant earth.
The first actual track on the album is called Alive, and it's a very uplifting track that sounds like a modern version of Yes. It has almost festive atmosphere, and I like those U2-ish guitars. The addition of claps in the second chorus emphasizes the overall playfulness of the music.
I'm a traveling man, each day I walk the byways of this life, till I'm dead in the grave at the end of my days. I've known what it means.
Then we have over 8 minutes long song called Florentine, where we have acoustic guitars, a banjo, and even the violin colors this song in that country/folkish vibe.
You showed us new ways to know our world, of what we see and know.
The song gets a little more serious later, and it was reminding me of Kansas, and the second half of the track is actually instrumental. After this we are introduced to one of the 3 long epics on the album, Roman Stone, which is over 30 minutes long and it actually has 5 different parts. The beginning is almost melancholic compared to what we've heard so far, and then we have a very nice melody in the chorus. It has that prog twist, however, which I'm not a very big fan of. Almost like every neo-prog band I've listened to and every neo-prog album I've listened to, every time they have a really nice melody going on, they make this change in chord progression or the change in the melody that you kind of wouldn't expect, but at the same time it also ruins the melody, at least for me.
Now look upon their worlds under a different sky.
This is why I'm generally not a big fan of neo-prog as a genre. There is also a trumpet, I think, which fits the mood perfectly. The second and the fourth part of this track are instrumental, and while you wouldn't necessarily notice the second part because of its smooth transition, the fourth part is much more obvious because it almost feels as if a new song has started, and it's built mainly around trumpet and wind instruments, which I really liked. Then we have the only instrumental, Pantheon, and the trumpet riffs sound surprisingly dark in otherwise very airy track. There is a flute solo, there is a violin solo, pretty much every band member gets a chance to shine on this track. Theodora in green and gold has a dim piano at the beginning with 80s keyboard-like notes, which makes for a pretty interesting combination. And again, we have a very nice melody in the chorus with that neo-prog twist, but here it doesn't really bother me that much.
Here she stands, Theodora in green and gold, a chalice in her hands, reflecting the light.
And it's interesting that we hear the chorus twice with a very short instrumental part in between them, and the chorus has almost like a Christmas atmosphere. I'm not sure if it's because I'm listening to this album now or if I would feel like that in any time. And we also hear a different band member singing here, which is a nice addition. Then we have the other two long epics on the album. So at first it's Ariel, which is over 14 minutes long, and it actually has 8 different parts. But most of these parts are different lyrically rather than musically. At first it has that film noir atmosphere, and then it goes into a very melancholic, intimate and very specific atmosphere with that piano. The chorus sounds a bit like a wake-up call because it brightens everything up, and it's also much more intense instrumentally.
All chores fulfilled, you earned your freedom, but bonds and ties bind with good reason.
There's also this part where they kind of sound like Imagine Dragons or any other random pop rock band, but it actually makes for a very interesting moment because it's not something I would have expected here.
Come Cirrus, come Stratus, eternal sprawling of days. Come Nimbus, you.
And then Voyager, which is also over 14 minutes long and has around 7 different parts, is a much more chilling song. It kind of feels like 2 shorter tracks connected with short instrumentals, and then it gets a little more dark and intense, but at the end the main chorus is repeated.
Beyond the next headline, over the horizons, and into the open sky to find out what we are.
The final track, Home Song, is very uplifting, kind of in that style of Alive, the second track, and it really, we witness this whole journey. That's why I think the album is called the Grand Tour, and it feels like a happy end to the journey.
Bluebells in the woods, butterflies in hedgerows, flowers coloring the creek, willows dripping in the water.
Even though neo-prog is not necessarily my cup of coffee, I really enjoyed this album. I like how airy, how uplifting it is, and I'm looking forward to discovering more of their works. I've actually heard that their strongest album, according to many people, is Folklore, so I guess that's where I'll go next. So, have you heard this album already? You can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me. If you're a Big Train fan, you can let me know how well do you think it compares to their other albums. which ones are your favorite ones or which ones would you recommend me to go to next. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find the links to both in the description of this video below. If you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my worst to best videos, and quite a lot of other reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching.